All right, so let's jump right into our discussion. Now, we've been talking about abortion, and uh, earlier we talked about a pro-life argument that used the acronym SLED, SLED, which refers to possible differences between an infant and toddler, and a fetus, and the differences were size, level of development, environment, and degree of dependency. SLED. And we discussed whether those are morally relevant differences. And during this, we had a nice discussion about that. Um, so, you know, take that for what it's worth. That's a pro-life argument. Now we're moving toward Judith Jarvis Thompson's famous paper in defense of abortion. And if it's been a while, you're watching this without having reviewed that, I highly recommend you go back and reread that article. This whole next set of video lectures will be on Thompson's article. So go do that. If you haven't, press pause, do it. Okay, so okay, I'm assuming you just did that. Now, let's review what I call the typical pro-life argument. And then I'll put it up here. And by the way, this handout is on Blackboard, and it's also what I gave you before you left for spring break. So if you don't have it, pause, go get it. Okay, now I hope that you have it in front of you. Now, the argument went like this. If the fetus is a person, then it has a right to life. The fetus is a person, therefore the fetus has a right to life. That argument form is modus ponens. You should know that. If the fetus has the right to life, then it has the right not to be aborted, even if this conflicts with the mother's right to choose what happens to her body. Therefore, the fetus has the right not to be aborted, even if this conflicts with the mother's right to choose what happens to her body. So, in general, suppose the fetus is a person and has the right to life. Well, your right to life, like life and death, matters more than your rights over, what you do with your body. I mean, that's the general idea. Killing someone versus having some freedom in your body. Well, life and death is more valuable. And that's what's supposed to justify premise 4. Now, most people focus on premise 2, whether the fetus is a person. But really, this is where Thompson was pretty ingenious. She wanted us to focus on premise 4. So she says, let's assume, take for granted, or just concede for the sake of argument, that's what I should have said, say for the sake of argument that the fetus is a full human person. Okay? Thompson wants to say, even still, she can argue for a pro-choice position by attacking, sorry for the glare, premise 4. If the fetus has a right to life, then it has the right not to be aborted, even if this conflicts with the mother's right to choose what happens to her body. Thompson is going to argue is, even if the fetus has the right to life, I'll argue that, and the fetus is a person, a full human person, even if it has the right to life, it's still morally permissible for the mother to have an abortion. Now, how is she going to do that? Well, this is just to keep reviewing. First, to loosen us up, she gives us her violinist case. You wake up, you've been captured by the Society of Music Lovers, and you look to your left and you find that your kidney is plugged in by a cord. You can't see my kidney here, but it's plugged in to a violinist. Okay, and you're told, if you unplug from this violinist, then this violinist will die. All right. And now most people in our class, and this was the final discussion we had before we ended, most people think, oh, it is permissible to unplug. Okay, which is curious because your unplugging will kill the violinist. And everybody agrees this full-blooded violinist, a contributor to society, and yet we think it's okay to kill the violinist in this case. And part of it is because of your rights to your own body, right? So this is Thompson's way of kind of wedging her foot in the door. Yep, so that's some review on abortion. And then next we'll talk about the extreme view. So we just talked about the violinist case. Next we'll talk about the extreme view, and that'll be in the next video. See you soon.